Hello student, good morning. I hope you all will be safe and sound as we are discussing in the civics, mainly the third chapter, why do we need a parliament. The first part, as I have already just explained and I have already just shared with you people. So now that we have to discuss the role of the parliament. Okay, before it we have discussed why people decide to choose the representatives and what are their works, and as well as we have discussed lots of the things in the previous video. So as I have already told, this is the parliament house which have been shown in the pic, and downside something they have given some of the points related to the parliament. What they have given, see, let's have a discussion over it. The Parliament of India, it is known as NCERT, is the supreme law making institution. As I have already told you, it is the supreme law making body in our country. It has two houses, the Rajya Sabha and the Lok Sabha. The parliament, it consists of two houses, okay? That is the Rajya Sabha, that is upper house, the Lok Sabha, that is known as lower house. Okay? Then the Rajya Sabha, which is councils of states with a total strength of 245 members, is chaired by the Vice President of India. Mainly the ex officio and the main head of the Rajya Sabha, that is the Council of States, that is headed and main leader, that is the Vice President of India. And it is having the total strength of 245 members. Okay. Then they have given the Lok Sabha about, that is the House of the People, with a total membership of 545, is presided over by the Speaker. Okay, means it is mainly headed and presided by the Speaker. That is known as the Lok Sabha Speaker. Okay, and then they have given the role of the Parliament. What is the role? What is the main preface of the Parliament? What are the functions of the Parliament? So these all the things you will come to know by explaining these all the things. Okay. Let's have a discussion what they have given. Created after 1947, the Indian Parliament is an expression of the faith that the people of India have in principles of democracy. As created after 1947, as we got the independence in the same year, so then this Parliament was also formed, and it is an expression of the faith, of the belief of the people of India that works on the principles of democracy. These are participation by people in the decision-making process and the government by consent. So these are the participation by the people, whoever the members, whoever the representatives in the parliament. These are mainly these representatives are mainly elected by the people, as we have already discussed, and they take the participate in decision-making process and government by consent. The parliament in our system has immense powers because it is the representatives of the people. So here that has been given in our system, mainly the parliament, as I have already told, it has immense powers, means very huge powers the parliament is having, because it is the representatives of the people. Because these members, as the whole country has been divided into 543 constituencies. Okay, 543 parts from the different parts. So different MPs, MP mean to say the member of parliament, these are elected by the people and they represent their areas, their constituencies at the central level. Okay, so that is why the power has been given, huge powers have been given to the parliament, because it is the representatives of the people. Elections to the parliament are held in a similar manner as they are for the state legislature. As we have already discussed in the previous classes that about the state level elections, as the elections are conducted here of in exact after 5 years. So the same in 5 years the elections are also conducted for the parliament. As I have already told you that in 2019 the elections were conducted for the Lok Sabha. Now they will be conducted after 5 years, that is in 2024. Okay. Then the Lok Sabha is usually elected once every 5 years. As I have already told that once every 5 years the Lok Sabha is usually elected by the people. The country is divided into numerous constituencies as shown in the map page number 41, each of these constituencies elect one person to the parliament. As I have already told to you, the whole country has been divided into 543 constituencies. Mean to say 543 member of parliament, these are known as the MPs, they will be elected from the different parts of the country. Okay, and even downside, that map has been given. So you will automatically come to know by seeing this map. Each of these constituencies elect one person to the parliament. The candidates who contest elections usually belong to the different political parties. As we all know that who are taking participate, who are standing in the elections. So these candidates mainly belongs from the different political parties. You might have known, and you might be knowing in your locality about the different political parties like BJP, Bharatiya Janata Party, Indian National Congress, then Aam Aadmi Party, Bahujan Samajwadi Party, many other means lots of parties, because India is having the multi-party system. That is why, so different these candidates who are standing in the elections, they belong from the different political parties. Okay, then with the help of the table below, let us understand this further. So here they have given the result of the 16th Lok Sabha election, which were conducted in May 2014. Okay, different political parties name they have given here and how many seats they have secured over there. Okay, if you check one by one, so you can see here the BJP, it got how many it has received, that is 282. If you want to form the government, so definitely you need the majority in the Lok Sabha. Okay, as I have already told you, there are 543. Is half, as we have already discussed in the previous chapters. So it's half plus 1. If some party is getting, okay, so definitely this party will form the government. So you can see how the different political parties, they have received the different candidates for the central level, for mainly for the parliament. Okay, then see here grand total, that is 543, and although the total members, these are 545, but the two members are elected or nominated by the President of India from Anglo-Indian community. Okay, later on you will come to know about it more. So then after this one, they have also shown here, that is 15th Lok Sabha election. Okay, that were conducted in 2009. Okay, they have shown here the different parties, how many seats they have got for Lok Sabha election. So that has been shown here. Okay, then once elected, these candidates become members of parliament or MPs. Once these members win the election from their constituencies, so these persons and these members, they become the members of parliament and known as MPs. These MPs together make up the parliament. Okay, once elections to be parliament have taken place, the parliament needs to perform the following functions. Once the elections for the parliament have taken place, if the elections have been conducted for the parliament, then the parliament need to be perform the following functions. So here, what are the works, what are the main functions of the parliament, that thing has been given. The first point, to select the national government, which is also we know as the central government, which works, which functions for whole the country. Okay, so here Parliament of India consists of President, the Rajya Sabha and the Lok Sabha. The Parliament of India mainly, it consists of three things, that is the President, the Rajya Sabha and the Lok Sabha. After the Lok Sabha elections, a list is prepared showing how many MPs belong to each political parties. After the when the elections are conducted, after this one, a list is prepared by the Election Commission. Okay, after preparing the list, it list shows to us how many MPs belongs to the each political parties. Like left side you can see from first they have given here, that is Bahujan Samajwadi Party, BSP, 21 candidates, Bharatiya Janata Party, 116 candidates, the Communist Party, they have won the elections from their constituencies. Okay, so this list is prepared from each political parties. For a political party to form the government, they must have a majority of elected MPs. Mean to say, if any political party wants to form the government at the central level, at the national level, they must have the majority. Mean to say, more members from their political party must be there. Since there are 543 elected members plus 2 Anglo-Indian nominates, as I have already told you, members in Lok Sabha have to majority, party should have at least half the number of, that is 272 members or more. If it means to say, if you want to form the government, if any political party wants to form the government at national level, at the central level, this applies as well as on the state governments. So you must, whatever the total strength, total constituencies, that is 543, you must have at least half of the number, that is 272 members or more than it. Then this particular party will form the government. Then the opposition in parliament is formed by all the political parties that oppose the majority party and coalition formed. So here they have given whoever the rest of the MPs who are known as the member of parliament. So these mainly what they used to do, they mainly they have told here, they oppose the majority party, whatever the rules and regulations are being made by the ruling government, ruling party. So they just keep watch on the policies which is being made by the ruling party. And here they have also given, if any party doesn't get the majority, okay, any party, if suppose any party is not getting the majority, so in this case what used to happen, so 2 or more than 2 political parties come together and form the government. This government came to be known as coalition government. Okay, the largest among us these parties is called the opposition party, and the rest of the MPs, rest of the members, they will play as a opposition party role in the parliament. One of the most important function of the Lok Sabha is to select the executive. As we have already discussed 3 organs of the government, that is legislative, executive and judiciary. So the most important function of the Lok Sabha to select the executives, Karyapalika, that is known as, okay, the Prime Minister and his councils of ministers together. It is known as executive. It just forms the executive. The executive, as we have read in the chapter first, is a group of persons who work together to implement the laws made by the parliament. Okay, the executive is often what we have in mind when we use the term government. The executive mainly mean to say, whatever, when we think about the government, definitely the name of the prime minister, the councils of ministers, other ministers, that will come in our mind. Same like this, these members, they just work together to implement the laws which were made by the legislative, mainly by the parliament. The Prime Minister of India is the leader of the ruling party in the Lok Sabha. As present, if you take the example of at present, so everyone knows about the Mr. Narendra Das Modi. So he is the Prime Minister, okay, and then he is the leader of the ruling party in the Lok Sabha. From the MPs who belong to her party, the Prime Minister select ministers to work with her to implement decisions. So, along with the help of the Prime Minister, the other MPs are selected as the ministers, giving them the different ministries, and they work together to implement the decisions. These ministers then take charge of different areas of government functioning like health, education, finance, etc. You might be knowing about the different kind of the health minister, education minister, finance minister. So these all are work under the Prime Minister, and these are selected by the Prime Minister. Okay. Then oftentimes in the recent past, it has been difficult for a single political party to get the majority that is required to form the government. Often in recent time, if you see the elections result, so what used to happen, a single party is not getting the majority, means not getting half and more than half seats for which is required for forming the government. Then they join together with different political parties who are interested in similar concern to form what is known as a coalition government. As I have already told you, then what used to happen, the same interested political parties, two or more than two political parties, they come together, they form an alliance, and this alliance form the government, and this government came to be known as coalition government. Okay, then they have shown here two buildings, you can see. Okay, and that is Central Secretariat. Okay, the South Block and the North Block, these were built during 1930s. You can see both the buildings, and the other ministers of the Union government are located in the various buildings in the New Delhi. You can see about them. Then the Rajya Sabha functions primarily as the representative of the states of India in the parliament. So the mainly whoever the members of the Rajya Sabha, okay, these functions, these work mainly as a representative of states, because states send them for the Rajya Sabha. Then the Rajya Sabha can also initiate legislation, and a bill is required to pass through the Rajya Sabha in order to become a law. Mean to say, if any bill means that is known as in Hindi, that is विधेयक, अगर उसको हमने पास करना, अगर any bill, if you want to make a law, so that must be passed. The bill is required to pass from both the houses of the parliament, that is upper house and lower house, Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. It therefore has an important role of reviewing and that is altering, if alternation are needed, the law initiated by the Lok Sabha. Okay, that is why that Rajya Sabha also plays an important role for reviewing, to review the laws, and whatever the any alternate is needed over there in the law. So that was also initiated by the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. The members of the Rajya Sabha are elected by the elected members of the legislative assemblies of various states. Whoever the members in the Rajya Sabha, these are also elected by the elected members of the legislative assemblies. Means the legislative assembly, these are formed at the state level. Okay, these are known as the MLA, which are also elected by the people. That is member of legislative assemblies. There are 233 elected members plus 12 members nominated by the president. Then the second function of the parliament, to control, guide and inform the government. Okay, here you will come to know how the parliament is control and guide and inform the government. The parliament while in session begins with a question hour. The parliament while the session is going on, okay, जब वहाँ पे कोई session, कोई सत्र चलता है, तो what used to happen? It begins with the questioning hour. The questions is being asked. Okay, the questions, they will be raised up over there. The question hour is an important mechanism through the MPs can elect information about the working of the government. And whoever the opposition MPs, opposition parties MPs are there, so what they used to do, they just collect the information about the working of the government, what the work is being done by the ruling party. Okay, this is very important way through which the parliament controls the executive. This is quite easy as well as very important that the parliament controls the executive. Mean to say, there is a control over the ministers by asking them question. By asking question, the government is altered to its shortcomings and also comes to know the opinion of the people through their representatives in the parliament, that is the MPs. MPs, what used to happen when they used to ask to the questions to the government, mainly to the ruling party, so this party and the government, it come to know about its shortcomings. जो भी उसके negative points होते हैं, whatever the shortcomings over there, so the government come to know and also come to know the opinion of the people, what the people wants, because the people, they have elected their representatives for the national level government. Okay, asking question of the government is a crucial task for every MP. Asking question to the government, it is a crucial, means very important task for every member of parliament. The opposition parties play a critical role in the healthy functioning of the democracy. If any law, any decision that has taken by the government which is not so good for the welfare of the people, so definitely the opposition parties, they play an important role for the healthy working and healthy functioning in a democracy. They highlights drawbacks in the various policies and programs of the government and mobilize popular support for their own policies. So by this one, they highlight the drawbacks, the feedbacks in the various policies and the programs which has launched by the government. They tell the drawbacks of it. Okay, and as well as they get the popular support for their own policies. This is the role of the opposition party in the government. Then the following is an example of a question asked in the parliament. So here they have given one example. You can see it, how it works. They have given, and this is 15th of December 2017, how the question has been raised in the parliament. Okay, you can see and you can just read it, what the thing happened over there and what the Minister of State and the Ministry of Women and Child Welfare Department had, the particular minister has given its response towards the particular policy. Then the government gets valuable feedback and it's kept on its toes by the question asked by the MPs. So when the opposition parties MPs, when they ask, okay, when they just tell the feedback to the government, so the government gets its valuable feedback. The government gets whether the government is working properly, functioning properly or not. So these all the things are kept by the, and these all the things are keep in mind by the government by question asked by the MPs. In addition, in all matters dealing with finances, the parliament approval is crucial for the government. Dealing with the finance matters that is related to the money, if any matter is there that is needed, the approvals of for the government. If the government wants to just invest or want to spend the money somewhere, so the need of the approval of the government is needed, or the parliament, the approval of the parliament is also needed for the government. This is one of the several ways in which the parliament controls, guides and informs to the government. The MPs as representatives of the people have a central role in controlling, guiding and informing parliament, and this is a key aspect of the functioning of the Indian democracy. Here they have given how the MPs as representatives of the people, how they have a main role, central role, mean to say how they are playing a key role over there to control, to guide and to inform the parliament, and this is the main aspect of the functioning of Indian democracy for the welfare of the citizens. Okay, then after third point they have given here, that is about lawmaking. Lawmaking is a significant function of the parliament. We shall read about this in the next chapter. In the next chapter we will come to know how the law is being made, okay, by the parliament. We will discuss more and we will come to know more in the next chapter, because this chapter, next chapter, that is related to the laws. Okay, then who are the people in the parliament? Parliament now has more and more people from different backgrounds. For example, there are more rural members as also the members from many regional parties, as we all know that. So the people who are working as a MP, that is a member of parliament, they belong from the different places, from the different backgrounds, from rural to urban areas, as well as these are the members of the different local parties, regional parties, groups, and the peoples that we were till now that is unrepresented are beginning to get elected to the parliament. Even you will see from the different religions, different caste, different backgrounds. So each and everyone is being selected by the people, elected by the people as their representatives to the parliament. There hasn't been an increase in the political participation from the Dalits and backward classes, as I have already told to you, that is from the lower caste people as well as from the backward classes. Even the participation of the female, mainly the women, okay, it has also increased in the participation in the functioning of the parliament. Let us look at the following table that shows the percentage of the population who voted in Lok Sabha elections in the different years. So here they have given in the different elections how many people they have taken the participate in the elections. Okay, then it has been observed that representative democracy cannot produce a perfect reflection of society, because representative democracy means to say we elect our representatives and they function for us, and it cannot produce the perfect reflection of the society, mean to say what is going on in the society, they can't reflect it properly. This is a realization that when interest and experience separate us, it is important to ensure that communities that have been historically marginalized are given adequate representations. So here it has been observed, and it has been one kind of realization when the interest and the experience of the it separates to us. It is important to make sure that whoever the communities are there that have been historically marginalized, these are the vulnerable groups, okay, they are given sufficient representation. With this in mind, some seats are reserved in the parliament for SCs and STs. Okay, if you see, so there are some seats for the national level government, for the national level election. Some seats are permanently reserved for SCs, that is scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. And it has been done so that the MPs elected from these constituencies will be familiar with and can represent Dalits and Adivasis' interest in the parliament. Why this is so? This is just because of these MPs which have been elected from these constituencies. Okay, so they can represent the Dalits, these lower caste people, and the Adivasis, and what are their interests, so they can work for their welfare. Okay, this is all about, they have given how it is representing the different things. Then similarly, it has more recently being suggested that there should be a reservation for seats for women. As we all know that there are some reserved seats for women as well, that has been discussed early. This issue is still being debated. 60 years ago, only 4% of MPs were women, and today it is just above 11%. And it is a small share when you consider the fact that half of the population are women. It means to say, whatever the seats are reserved for the women, for the female, so their number must be increased, they mean to say. Earlier, although there were some participation, as they have given 60 years back, only 4% of the women were elected. Then they have given at present, that is 11%. So that is an also issue, that means more than half of the population that also from the female category, so their seats must be increased. It is the issue of this kind that force the country to ask certain difficult and often unresolved questions about whether our democratic system is representative enough. So what about these issues? Okay, these are just certain difficult questions and unresolved questions which in the democratic country, in a democratic system, these questions are being raised. Okay, the fact that we can ask these questions and are working towards answers in a reflection of the strength and the faith that people of India have in a democratic form of government. It means to say, the fact we can ask these questions, okay, we can just raise these questions and we are working towards the answers is a reflection of the strength. Whatever the strength, whatever the total population, it reflects the answer of these questions. The faith, the belief that the people of India have in a democratic form of government. As we believe, we faith on the democracy and in democratic form of government. So these questions we can ask and we can reflect our society by resolving these questions. Okay, this is all about the chapter they have given here. So after this one, we will discuss about the question answers. Okay.